So I'm going to try to do a quick rundown of what the design schedule represents and what each different part means. First of all, it's a view only, so you can't edit it, but you should be able to get a good feel for where your job is at all times. First thing is going across the columns at the top. They're all pretty self-explanatory, but this first column will have the job name. And as you can see down here, I only use the client's first name. 1, 2, 3 job type is that's entirely for me. That's just a scale I use to determine how busy I am. The proposed construction time frame would be whenever at the beginning you told me that you would want to be completing the job or you want to break ground. It might be spring, it might be fall, it might be a specific date, but that tells me the urgency of each job. Last contact, self-explanatory. When did we talk last? The client request or deadline, what that is the next plan turnaround. If you have a deadline when you need that next set of plans, I always put it in here. So again, it's just to stay ahead of the curve and try to meet all my deadlines. And then notes, comments, usually we'll have a date and then the note from the communication. So once this is filled out, you'd understand. So it would be today's date, what was discussed, then the last or prior conversation, what was discussed, etc. So you can come in here, look at your job, see the last date, and maybe I didn't update it, and you might want to alert me or let me know that, hey, we did talk after that or whatever. And you can double check any of this. If you have a deadline that I don't have written down, like let me know. If you come in here and see that something doesn't look right, let me know, because this is what I go by. I'm basically sharing, this is kind of my Bible of my design jobs. Everything that I do comes off of this sheet. So from there, I want to talk a little bit about colors. This really doesn't matter to the client, but just to explain, any new home design job, I do all in black. Any what I call an HT design would be home transformation. That would be remodel, addition, anything like that. That would be more of an hourly job. I do in this dark orange. And then when there's revisions, I just change it to green. So now going top to bottom, up here, the last update, all I'll do is when I'm in here and I'm updating, today is April 14th, I would go in and say 4/14. So you can see if you come in here, if this is a week old or 3 days old or 2 days old, that means that I haven't been updating it. Shame on me, but I always try to put that in there so people know that it's been updated, or maybe I'm a day behind, and that's why things haven't been moved around. Anytime I'm out of the office, I'm going to put it right here. So there you can see I've filled it out just arbitrarily. Out of office, where will I be, meetings, when, the date, when will I return, and why. So this just alerts everyone to when I'm going to be out of the office. If I know it, it'll be in here, so then you'll know it ahead of time. This next column is the active, working on, or next up. So that job that I'm working on that's on my screen will be up here listed. And then if there are certain jobs that I know are coming next, they'll be up here as well. So there might be 3 or 5 jobs up here, but that's the column that tells what is being worked on or what is next up. So below that, these jobs are still active. They're just going to fall into a different category. And the lower on the page, the earlier in the design process they are. So you can see schematic design phase, if we're still in the concepts and getting the layout done. Design development phase, that would be if we're getting into the exteriors, the lower level, further into the plans because the layouts are approved. Then up here, it's approved for a bid set or construction documents. So this is more finalized, revisions to bid set or construction documents. And then up here, I also have a category for a quick job to fit in between finishes. If it's a couple hour revision, I might just throw it in here, move it up into active, get it done, get it out. But any of these jobs here are where I'll grab to put them up into active. So where they sit will be chronologically within each of these different phases. Then I have somewhat of a separation here in yellow, just to kind of separate the fact that this upper part is active, the lower part is not. And again, this is all self-explanatory. The plans that are in client review means I've released the plans. I'm waiting to hear back from the client. A soft hold means for whatever reason, the plans are on hold, or it might be a bid set is completed and we're waiting for all the bids to get back. So I put the job in a soft hold. I take it off the schedule, the active schedule, and then when the client gets back to me, it'll bump back up into one of these categories. So say it's a bid set and we get the revisions back, it could go into a revisions to bid set or construction docs, or it could go into an approved for construction docs. It depends on what status it is, but I'll move it from there back to active and it'll be where it is in the design process up here. At the very bottom is job prospects. This is where I'll have a list of people that have reached out to me. I haven't released the schedule to them. They haven't, made their down payment. They haven't gotten on the schedule, but it's just a way for me to keep track of all the prospects. So with that, I brought up really quickly, my current schedule today is April 14th, 2021. This is exactly what I'm looking at. Just got back from Arizona. So you can see now that it's filled out, it's a little more self-explanatory, hopefully. But you can see at the top, the last time I updated it was April 11th. It still has my out of office from traveling back, but everyone can see those dates. Up here, it has 3 jobs that I know that are going to be working on next. And then in here, you can see some of these jobs that are filling in the blanks of what I just explained with the default. And then below that are not active, we've got this many jobs in client review. We got a soft hold on this job, and then these are all the prospects that I'm touching base with. And if one pulls the trigger, they'd move up here into the schematic design phase. And it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. So hopefully that helped explain how I do my own schedule, and it allows you to follow your job as it works its way through the process of the design phase.